you still haven't read the new Death Note one-shot, now's the chance to click away. Do yourself a favor and go read it now. Now! Good. If you're still here, then I'm assuming you've read the one-shot. Let's begin. I've loved Death Note a lot from the time that I was a kid. The mind-bending tactics used by Light in the battle of wits between him and L. Hell, I loved it so much that I got to know about manga through it, and it opened a whole new world to me. I liked the manga's art style so much that I even tried to copy Oba's art style by making some shitty drawings. I became a Death Note fanatic and found a sequel to Death Note, which was released in 2008, but sadly, nothing much really happened in it, and the user wrote his own name in the Death Note in the end. His face was not shown in the manga. Hell, not even his name. The Shinigami Madara, who gave the unnamed user the Death Note, admitted that this experiment was pointless. And that brings us to the new sequel, as it begins right where the previous one-shot ended. This sequel was way beyond my expectations because the previous one-shot kinda let me down. It opened a whole new world to Death Note fans while still giving hints of nostalgia. The story is set 10 years after the Kira incident. The protagonist this time is a high school student named Minoru Tanaka, whose Korean hairstyle I really dig, by the way. He's a know-it-all like Light Yagami, but he's the best at what he does. After finding out what happened to the previous Death Note users, and reading about the genocide king Light Yagami in his school textbooks, he was hesitant to use it, or maybe because he didn't want to kill anyone. He came up with a plan to use the Death Note without using the Death Note. He literally auctioned the Death Note to world leaders without getting caught by manipulating Ryuk with the help of them thick juicy apples. He successfully auctioned the Death Note to Donald fucking Trump. Yeah. Nier was here this time too, but this time he couldn't and didn't do anything as he basically worked for Trump and Minoru's plan was foolproof. Nier always felt like a cheap ripoff of L to me, so I don't mind even if he wasn't shown that much in the series, as Minoru was the star of the show. But Nier did catch Light, aka Kira, so him admitting defeat against Minoru was pretty cool. But it's not over yet. When Trump is about to receive the Death Note, Ryuk is called upon by the Shinigami King, and a new rule is added to the Death Note which prohibits the selling of the Death Note. The rule states that the buyer will die upon receiving the Death Note and the seller will die upon receiving the payment. As it is a new and unknown rule, and Trump was supposedly about to be the new owner of the Death Note, Ryuk tells Trump that if he rejects the Death Note right now, he will not write his name in his Death Note. Trump doesn't take the Death Note, but he says he'll pretend to still have it and tell the public that he will never use it, so everyone will call him a saint. On the other hand, after successfully selling off the Death Note, Minoru had asked Ryuk not to confront him ever so that he can live a happy life, so unfortunately he doesn't find out about the new rule and dies of a heart attack while withdrawing the money from the ATM. Bruh, what an ending. The one-shot is available for free on Shonen Jump and I really insist you to check it out if you haven't read it and you're still watching this video for some reason. That brings us to what could happen next. Will Death Note return? Should it end here? In my opinion, if we can get more one-shots like this with new protagonists and their unique ways to use Death Note, then I would welcome it. Not to mention, the one-shot has given us new insights into the Shinigami world, one being that the Shinigami King can add or maybe remove rules to and from the Death Note. In future sequels, this could play a major plot role. It would be interesting if we can get prequel one-shots as Ryuk admits that there have been users before Light Yagami, or maybe a brief insight to the Shinigami realm. I myself, as a Death Note fan, have come up with a sequel idea which I would like to share with you all through this video. So it goes like this. Japan's economy is booming. Japan is benefiting from the recent Akira incident. Trump is flaunting his fake position of Death Note, and now the world fears USA, as everyone now knows that Kira's power is very real. However, USA's economy has hit rock bottom, so Trump is blackmailing other nations under the shadows to give USA money in form of assets, etc., or he'll wage war. Everyone cooperates, but it's obviously a desperate bluff. However, Ryuk's hunger for drama and apples is as usual not satisfied, so he drops his Death Note in the human world again, which everyone thinks Trump has. Someone picks it up and people start dying. They are not world leaders, but random people. So everyone starts suspecting that Trump doesn't have the Death Note. Trump is in a dire situation. He asks Nier for help. Nier concludes that there have been times when more than one Death Note exists in human world at a time. He tells Trump, knowing you would have killed your enemies long time ago, but you haven't done so. You don't have it, do you? Trump accepts. He tells Nier about the new rule, which only he and the new Death Note user knows. After Nier finds out about the new rule, he is able to find that Minoru was the user by finding which Yotsuba bank account holder died of a heart attack right when they received the money. He admires him a little and calls him unlucky. Trump is in peer pressure, so he asks Nier to recover the Death Note so that he can publicly prove that he has it by demonstrating its power. Based on previous happenings, Nier concludes that Shinigamis usually hand Death Notes to humans with higher IQ levels, so he starts filtering so that he can give Death Note to Trump. This time again, most of the people dying are Japanese and Matsuda and company, plus the Japan government has had enough of this Kira bullshit, so they create Death Note hunting task force which intends to burn the current Death Note and somehow stop more Death Notes from entering the human world. Nier wants the current Death Note, Matsuda and friends want the current Death Note, so it's Matsuda and company versus Nier basically, as they are the only people who can see Ryuk. US versus Japan for world domination. World War III could also be incorporated in this idea, and some new rules maybe. We can get all creative. The possibilities are unlimited. Tell me if you like this idea in the comment section below, and let me know if you'd like more of this type of discussion videos. Thanks for watching.